Boston Tea Party Opera. In this unit, students will use the subject of the American Revolution to draft a libretto and perform the work using expressive qualities. Students will explore and describe relationship between musics and other content areas. They'll also describe how context can inform a performance. Students will perform music with appropriate expression, technique, and interpretation. Students will also draw conclusions about the relationship of significant events in the history of the United States to the expansion of democracy in the United States. Students will write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences or events using effective technique, descriptive details, and clear event sequences.
Well, one of the first things that I do is I try to answer the question for the children, why is an opera singer in our classroom? Are we doing this because it's fun, or what is the purpose? So I always start with a lesson on the science of music and how music works with the brain. The cochlea has these little hairs that vibrate mathematically to the frequency of the sound. Learning how to read and how to process math, because music is very mathematical and gets us in tune to language. I perform some things for them in class so they can see what it sounds like. I show them operas. And then sometimes I'll sing something and I'll say, what does it feel like I'm saying to you? So to create the idea of the sound gives you the information even if you don't know what they're saying.
And then I go through the process of getting them to recall the information we've learned previously. In this matter, it was the American Revolution. So I got them to speak about what they could recall from when the Europeans began to explore the Americas. What do you guys remember from the beginning, the early exploration?
The Europeans came to the Native American land and they bring people from Africa and made them slaves.
And those 13 colonies, they were under Great Britain's control and they were given taxes to Britain.
All right, so we know that there was a war. Who was involved in this war? Who's in there? Would you like to share, Kobe?
George Washington.
Crispus Attucks was also in the war. He was the first person on a Native American side to get shot.
Rosalind, could you add to it?
And that he decided to come to Boston to be free.
So it was a reinforcement to what they had already known. From there, Miss Joseph decided that she would pull out certain characters for the kids to write dialogue or ask about how do you think they would feel.
We want to take the story out of the books and bring it to life. Any story can be an opera, any story at all. Somebody tell me what happened when you woke up this morning. Who wants to do that? What happened when you woke up this morning?
When I woke up, I put on my clothes and I brush my teeth and I go to school.
Who woke you up?
My mom.
How would she sound if you were singing, if she was coming in the room singing?
Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up, come on and wake up. And you would say,
yes, I'm up.
Yes, I'm up, right? So we break them into groups, and once we've determined who we want the characters to be, then they have a sheet that they go in and look at each character and discuss with each other what that character should say.
They had one table as the colonists, one table would be the British, so they all had their own responsibilities and roles, but they worked together to create the dialogue.
We're gonna end this war so we can have our freedom.
The fact that they threw the tea in a Boston Harbor, they should pay.
And so we looked at Paul Revere, and everybody knows, he rode through the town and said the British are coming. But I had them think about him as, this is a guy that's kind of like a night watchman. How did it feel to be the person responsible for watching this town in the dark, and the army's not that far away, and all of a sudden you look up and you see a problem is happening.
Oh my goodness, who are they? The King's army. Wake up, wake up. Everyone get your guns ready.
And then we got to talk about Crispus Attucks and the whole idea of what it would be like to escape from slavery.
Crispus Attucks was feeling happier than his older life because he escaped from slavery and he came to Boston to be free.
Here he is, he's escaped. He's walked for miles and miles and escaped dogs and done all of that to make his way up to the northern colonies where he could be free. And all of a sudden somebody's saying, the British are coming to take our freedom away. How does that feel and how would you communicate that? So then the kids wrote lyrics based on that. You know, I came this far and I don't want to be a slave again.
I escaped from slavery. I came to Boston to be free.
It's just,
They
that was
connected.
emotional.
They
That-
connected.
yeah, that
They
was
were well
emotional.
connected to that storyline.
Yeah.
They took on the emotions of the characters.
Yeah.
They became the story.
Which takes it from this fact-based flat image in a book and brings the historic person to light.
How would you feel? And that question just kind of got everything flowing for every character. And the kids would get into discussing that amongst themselves. And they'd write down how they would feel, and their feelings became the dialogue.
Everything that they write in the different groups, I take it and kind of coalesce it together and put it into one libretto, book of lyrics. So once we have the book done, then it becomes, okay, so this character is angry. How would they sing it? How would they take these words? Should they sing it fast? Should they sing it slow, high, low? How do you create music that really will tell the audience what the emotion is, or if the character's a good guy or bad guy?
Scatter, scatter, no, let's stick up for ourselves. This is our land, not theirs.
So the bravest people who actually want to stand up and sing and depict the characters, once we get those together, then we incorporate the costumes to kind of give it that extra dramatic effect. And we practice for a couple of days, and the last day we video.
As a teacher, I was able to discover that certain students had talents that I, would never have the opportunity to learn about had it not been for this opera. Like watching a student as reserved as Katie sing, or a student as shy as Ronald get up and sing opera. It was like, it was really good to see.
Don't take another step, don't take another step, don't take another step.
Get ready for war. Ready, aim, fire!
I have no talent at music, but I've started to sing more. I sing for transitions throughout the classroom, throughout the day. I've noticed that it just gets more kids engaged in what we're discussing. If I were in there alone, I'd read from the book, I'd tell a little story, and they'd go to sleep or, not get it as much, but they were so into it.